DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Let's talk about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, I'm not going to talk about this in a way that you think I'm going to talk about it. Actually, if you follow my material, you might have an idea how I'm going to talk about this, and it's going to be off the beaten path of what you hear other people talk about. Now, here's what we know to be true. Right now, there's a conflict going on in the Ukraine that allegedly Russia, at least as far as I know, Russia is attacking Ukraine militarily. They're actually, shooting guns and bombs and missiles and all of that stuff. We all know that to be true, right? Nobody has disagreed with me on anything yet, right? 30 seconds into this video. Here's really what I want to talk about when it comes to this conflict, because for those of you who are unaware who I am or don't even know what I'm about, let's lay this on the table right now. I am not into the political world as far as governments and things like that in America, let alone outside of the United States. I do not follow geopolitical news. I do not follow geopolitical conflicts. So I am not about to speak about that. I do not follow foreign policy from America, let alone in any other country. I'm not about to speak about that either. Here's what I am going to speak about, because I can speak about things when it comes to the way people think and the way that people react to things emotionally, and the way that people are very subjective and not objective in their thinking, and the way that people are so quick to jump to conclusions these days, even when it's very clear that they don't even have information upon which to jump to a conclusion. And that's what I want to talk about, specifically Americans. I was on Apple Music today, and I was looking in the Browse tab, because I was looking to see any new albums come out of somebody that I want to listen to and follow. And one of the things that I saw in the tab was, it was a section that Apple Music has that says Lift Ukrainian Voices. So I guess they got a bunch of Ukrainian musical artists that they want to draw attention to I guess support them. Why? Because since we know, since Ukraine they're in this conflict with Russia right now, Apple has decided that they're going to lift up Ukrainian artists. I guess, what is that? Is that going to balance out the fact that they're being attacked by Russia? We're going to lift up some Ukrainian artists and give them attention. What the hell is that going to do to solve the conflict? Of course, it's going to do absolutely nothing. We know this is going to do nothing, but this is what wokeness looks like. And let's take it away from Apple Music, because it's not about Apple Music, but I just saw that this morning. So it was something that I thought of while I'm talking right now. But here's the real thing. Many of you, Americans I'm talking about, specifically those of you who live in America, or those of you who don't live in Russia, you don't live in the Ukraine, and you don't live in a country that has ever had any type of military battle with them, all right, not counting the United States, if you want to call the the Cuban Missile Crisis. Aside from that, all right, most of you wasn't even alive when that happened. Here's the thing. If you cannot, to me right now, without Googling it and without repeating something you heard on Twitter, or without repeating something you heard on any social media platform, if you could not stand in front of me right now and you could not logically, dispassionately, and objectively explain to me what is the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine, explain me the conflict, explain to me where it came from, why it's happening, who's doing what, and why you choose one side over the other side. Because as far as I've seen to this point, and any of you can correct me if you've seen something different, it appears to me that many people in America who have anything to say about this have taken the side of Russia is wrong and the Ukraine is right. I guess because it appears, from what I've seen, it appears that people are looking at Russia is the aggressor, so Ukraine is the victim, which means automatically that the Ukraine is they're right and Russia is wrong just because Russia is the aggressor. Well, if we're doing it like that, then there's a whole lot of things that we can say America is wrong about, right? Because I mean, what did we talk about over the last 2-3 years? How did America even come to exist? A bunch of settlers came over here. The land was already here. I live in Miami. All right, there were some Native Americans living here. The settlers came in, basically took the shit from them, and America became America. I mean, look what we got now. All right, this was built by a bunch of people who were not here. They came here. They were the aggressors, took the shit from the people who were here, and now we got America. But now we're condemning Russia for being the aggressor in a conflict right now. Now, some of you might say, well, that was back in the days, so no, we're not going to hold that against America now because that was hundreds of years ago. Okay, then why do we have the whole thing that happened over the last 2-3 years when it came to lifting black voices for what? For some shit that happened 200, 300 years ago. So again, it doesn't make any sense logically, doesn't make any sense objectively, and more importantly, we're just talking about today, right now, not America. Let's talk Russia and Ukraine. If you couldn't explain the conflict, you could not objectively talk about it, you couldn't lay it out and help someone who knows nothing. Let's say me. I know nothing about it. I've admitted that I know nothing. If you couldn't explain it to me in a logical, objective, dispassionate way, without Googling it, without repeating what somebody else said, without just repeating talking points that you got from the news or from Twitter or from Instagram or from LinkedIn, why are you posting anything about it? Why are you posting your support for Ukraine when you don't even know what's going on, since you can't explain it? This building right now, actually the building across the street from me, you can't see it. This building right here, every night they post like the Ukraine flag colors. This museum over here posts the Ukraine, because the Ukraine flag is yellow and blue, right? So you see this, there's a museum over there that posted. Over here, FTX Arena, they posted. This building has the lights here. Down here, Bayfront Park, they post the lights. There's a building that lights up every night. It's a City National Bank building down here in Miami. They post the Ukraine colors. They've been posting it every week, every night for the last couple weeks since this conflict started. And I'm thinking to myself, most of these mofos here in the United States do not, just like me, you do not follow foreign policy things. You don't know what's going on. You could not explain this to anyone in a logical, rational, reasonable way. Even if there was a gun to your head, you couldn't explain it. There was a basketball team. I don't know which team it was. It might have been the New Orleans team, but I might be wrong about that. One night they all wore like socks in the color of the Ukrainian flag to show support for Ukraine. Like, what the hell do you know about any of this? You don't know anything. Why are you jumping to a side, picking a side? Why are you making any kind of statement about something that you know nothing about whatsoever? And here's why. I know why. This is something that I can speak on. This is what wokeness has done to us here in the United States, and it has trickled into other parts of the world. Because the United States is a trendsetter. People follow what we do here in America, and then they go do it, right? Is that people have decided that if they feel one side is wrong on a situation, whoever is being wronged, whoever has the wrongdoing being done to them, we need to support them. So this is Apple Music. We got to uplift Ukrainian artists. What the hell is that going to do? Nothing. The sports team, we're going to wear the Ukrainian colors. What is that going to do? Nothing. These buildings here in Miami, these are big companies here, big buildings, city buildings. We're going to put the Ukrainian colors just to show everyone that we're supporting. And what is this going to do? We know it's not going to do anything. Is this going to help the Ukrainian people feel stronger? No, it's not going to help them do anything. Is it going to help their soldiers shoot more bullets? No, it's not going to do that. What is this really going to do? Is the word about any of this even going to make its way to Ukraine during this conflict? Is it going to make Russia stop doing what they're doing? No, and hell no. It's not going to do any of that stuff. What is this really doing? All this really is virtue signaling. That's all. Any of you who's been posting the Ukrainian flag, or you've been saying stuff, Russia is wrong, or I support Ukraine, or I've heard that even Russian artists, Russian athletes, Russian entertainers, anyone who's Russian, people Russian at jobs, anyone who has a Russian heritage has had to come out and basically they've had to denounce themselves, denounce their Russian heritage, because Russia is quote unquote wrong in this conflict. When many of you, again, I'm not talking about the Russians themselves, but many of you, and they have had to do this because they don't want to get condemned by Americans who are going to attack them for being Russian, even though they don't have anything to do with what the Russian government has decided to do. The Russian government decides to take an action. You ain't had no say in that. Just like right now, if America decided to invade Peru or South America or Africa or whatever, America decided to invade some country right now, what did I or you have to do with that decision? Nothing. We weren't involved in that decision-making process. Maybe you voted for the government that decided to make that move, but we didn't have any say in whether they did that or not. So what, would I have to apologize if I know some Peruvians, let's say America invades Peru. I'm just using Peru as an example. So anybody here from Peru, I'm not saying that they're going to do this. But let's say if I work at a Peruvian company, right? And America invades Peru, so all the Peruvians are really upset at America at that moment, and I'm from America and everybody knows that. Do I gotta apologize for my American heritage because America invaded Peru even though I ain't have shit to do with it? Hell no. I shouldn't have to, but this is what wokeness has done. This is what wokeness hath wrought. That now everyone has to jump to a side. Everyone wants to show like they're on the right side of a conversation, even though you don't know nothing about the conversation. You don't know anything about the situation or the conflict. Again, you couldn't explain it. You couldn't make anyone else understand it if you had to without repeating what somebody else already told you. So you don't even know if you're even properly informed, but you feel like you know something just so you can show off and show everybody, hey, everybody, look, I'm on the right side of this conversation. This is what wokeness has done. So in conclusion, I don't have any information to give you about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I'm sure there are people who do. Most of them they are not the people who are your mainstream news sources, because we know all of them are compromised these days. We can't trust them anymore. They only tell you what is expedient for them, and they're only basically trying to entertain their audience, not actually give you real information. It's a sad state of affairs. This is what has happened to journalism over the last 5 years, that we can't even get accurate information from people who we used to be able to trust. But this is where we're at, folks. I didn't make it this way, but this is the way that it is. So that's where I am on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And what I really want many of you to do, who are in the same space where you don't know anything about it, you haven't offered any feedback on it because you don't know anything about it, you don't know enough to offer any opinion, but you see everybody else jumping to a conclusion and saying stuff, and you know that they don't know a damn thing. I want you to understand that it's okay to not offer anything if you know that you don't have anything to offer, and you know that you don't have any information upon which to base an opinion. It's okay to not have an opinion. You don't have to have an opinion on every topic and every news item that pops up just because everybody, quote unquote, everybody is talking about it. Most of these everybody who are talking about it don't know anything. Most of them are just so afraid of getting canceled and attacked for not saying the right thing that they're just saying anything just so they can stay safe. These people are sheep. They are lambs, or they are followers. Think for yourself, be an independent thinker. If you don't know something, it's okay to just say, I don't know anything about that, therefore I'm not going to speak on it. It's 100% okay to say that. Do not allow anyone to scare you into believing you have to talk about something, even though you know you ain't got a damn thing to say. All that said, send me a text to get my daily motivation. I send it out every day. My number is 305-384-6894. And join my Bulletproof Mastermind. Those of you business pros, entrepreneurs, professionals who are serious about taking your personal and professional game to the next level through strategy, accountability, and execution. 3 areas. Go down to workonyourgameuniversity.com, links down below, and join me in there. Training every week. Next Saturday is the next one. Work on your game. Dre, all